When you buy a car, you expect reliability under the hood. But some models became infamous disasters, plagued by fragile engines and failing transmissions. These aren't minor annoyances. They're mechanical nightmares that cost owners thousands. Today, we're counting down the 10 cars with the worst engines and transmissions that you should never buy. Let's begin. Number 10. 2004 to 2007 Saturn Vue V6. The Saturn Vue was GM's attempt to enter the compact SUV market against rivals like the Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4. With its quirky styling and plastic body panels, it stood out visually, but the problems lurking inside made it a buyer's trap. On the outside, the Vue had an upright stance with Saturn's distinct grille and chunky wheel arches. It looked tough, but didn't back it up mechanically. GM outsourced the Vue's 3.0-liter V6 from Opel, and later, a Honda-sourced 3.5-liter V6. Both engines promised decent horsepower, around 250 horsepower for the Honda unit, but the transmission paired with them was the Achilles heel. The continuously variable transmission, CVT, on four-cylinder models was notoriously weak. Owners reported failures before 80,000 miles, with replacements costing nearly as much as the vehicle's market value. Even the stronger V6 models weren't free of issues, with frequent complaints of harsh shifting and poor durability. Inside, the Vue was roomy for its class, seating 5 with reasonable cargo space. The cabin materials, however, were a letdown, with cheap plastics that scratched easily. Features like OnStar and optional leather seats gave it a modern edge, but the experience was overshadowed by constant trips to the mechanic. Fuel economy was middling at around 18 to 24 miles per gallon, which wasn't impressive compared to Japanese competitors. Resale values plummeted once word spread about transmission failures, leaving many owners stuck with repair bills higher than their car's worth. The Vue tried to be a practical, affordable SUV, but its unreliable drivetrain turned it into one of GM's biggest headaches of the 2000s. Number 9. 2002 to 2006 Nissan Altima 2.5-liter YR4. The early 2000s. Nissan Altima was marketed as a sportier alternative to midsize sedans like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. With aggressive styling, a longer wheelbase, and bold headlights, it looked like a serious contender. Unfortunately, under the hood, it was a ticking time bomb. The base engine, a 2.5-liter four-cylinder, produced 175 horsepower, which sounded competitive on paper. But the real-world story was catastrophic. A defect in the pre-catalytic converter design caused exhaust particles to be sucked back into the engine. This led to excessive oil consumption, scored cylinders, and complete engine failure, sometimes before hitting 100,000 miles. Transmissions weren't much better. Many Altimas from this era suffered from rough shifting automatic gearboxes, compounding the reliability nightmare. Even the optional 3.5-liter V6, though powerful at 245 horsepower, didn't fully escape transmission complaints. Inside, the Altima felt spacious, with a driver-oriented dashboard and available features like leather seating and a premium Bose sound system. But build quality was inconsistent, with cheap trim pieces that rattled after a few years. Fuel economy hovered around 21 to 29 miles per gallon, but owners often saw reduced efficiency as engines began burning oil. The resale market punished the Altima heavily once reports of catastrophic failures became common, making it one of the least desirable midsize sedans of its time. The Altima's bold looks and sporty marketing couldn't hide its mechanical fragility, leaving a permanent stain on Nissan's reliability reputation. Number 8. 2006 to 2010 Chrysler Sebring. The Chrysler Sebring tried to position itself as an affordable mid-size sedan, competing with the Ford Fusion, Toyota Camry, and Honda Accord. With its winged Chrysler badge, waterfall grille, and coupe-like roofline, it aimed for style. But its engines and transmissions turned ownership into a financial nightmare. The base 2.4-liter four-cylinder barely managed 173 horsepower, while the optional 2.7-liter V6, meant to offer more power, quickly became infamous. The V6 suffered from sludge buildup caused by a poor cooling system and narrow oil passages. Many owners reported complete engine failure before 80,000 miles, even with regular oil changes. Transmission issues added insult to injury. The Sebring's 4-speed automatic felt outdated even at launch, with sluggish responses and a tendency to fail prematurely. This left owners facing repair costs that outweighed the car's already low resale value. Inside, the Sebring was criticized for cheap plastics, uncomfortable seats, and a design that felt dated compared to its rivals. Chrysler offered options like a sunroof and upgraded sound system, but these couldn't mask the overall lack of refinement. Fuel economy wasn't a saving grace either, with figures of 19 to 27 miles per gallon at best. Combined with poor reliability, the Sebring quickly developed a reputation as one of the worst cars in its segment. Despite its attempt at being a stylish alternative, the Sebring became a cautionary tale of what happens when flashy looks hide mechanical shortcomings. Number 7. 2005 to 2012 Ford Escape Hybrid. When the Ford Escape Hybrid debuted, it was hailed as a breakthrough, an American compact SUV offering hybrid technology to rival the Toyota Prius. It looked like the future. Unfortunately, the drivetrain proved costly for owners once the warranty expired. On the outside, the Escape Hybrid borrowed styling from the standard Escape, with a boxy profile, wide grille, and rugged wheel arches. It was appealing to eco-minded families wanting SUV practicality. The hybrid system combined a 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine with an electric motor for a total output of 155 horsepower. While innovative, the electronically controlled CVT eCVT transmission was a disaster. Failures often occurred between 70,000 and 120,000 miles, with replacement costs exceeding $5,000, sometimes more than the car's resale value. The hybrid battery pack also raised ownership costs. Though designed to last, many packs required replacement at high mileage, further sinking the Escape Hybrid's reputation. Inside, the Escape Hybrid seated 5 with decent cargo space. Features like navigation, premium audio, and optional leather added appeal. But the cheap plastics and boxy layout reminded drivers of its economy roots. Fuel economy was its only real advantage, averaging 30 to 34 miles per gallon, excellent for its time. But the savings at the pump were wiped out by astronomical repair bills. Resale value plummeted, and used buyers learned the hard way why many were dumped on the market. The Escape Hybrid promised green technology, but left many owners in financial red ink due to catastrophic drivetrain failures. Number 6. 2011 to 2014. Hyundai Sonata, 2.4-liter and 2.0T. The Hyundai Sonata was redesigned in 2014. 2011 to take on midsize heavyweights like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. With its bold, fluidic sculpture styling, sweeping headlights, flowing body lines, and a prominent grille, it won design awards and customer attention, but its engines and transmissions made it a risky gamble. Hyundai offered 2 main engines, a 2.4-liter four-cylinder making 198 horsepower and a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4 with 274 horsepower. Both promised strong performance, but internal flaws led to major reliability issues. The 2.4-liter suffered from premature bearing wear and catastrophic engine seizures, often requiring full replacements. The 2.0T was prone to turbo failures and oil consumption. Transmission issues added fuel to the fire. The 6-speed automatic frequently developed harsh shifting and failure codes, leading to expensive repairs. These problems surfaced as early as 60,000 miles, undermining Hyundai's hard-won reputation for value. Inside, the Sonata was stylish, with a swooping dashboard, spacious rear seating, and available features like touchscreen navigation and heated leather seats. It rivaled Japanese competitors on paper, but couldn't match their long-term dependability. Fuel economy ratings of 22 to 35 miles per gallon looked strong, but frequent repairs erased cost savings. Resale values took a nosedive once the widespread recalls and lawsuits became public. The Sonata's sleek design and affordability attracted many buyers, but its unreliable engines and transmissions proved it was beauty hiding a beast. Number 5. 2003 to 2007 Saturn Ion. The Saturn Ion was GM's attempt to modernize its compact lineup, replacing the popular Saturn S series. Targeted at budget-conscious buyers, it competed against the Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, and Ford Focus. With its odd proportions, slab-sided panels, and quad coupe version with suicide doors, it stood out visually, but not in a good way. The Ion's major downfall was its drivetrain. The base 2.2-liter Ecotec 4-cylinder engine produced 140 horsepower, but it developed timing chain issues, oil leaks, and premature wear that led to expensive failures. Even worse, the optional continuously variable transmission, CVT, in the Ion sedan was among the most unreliable transmissions GM ever sold. Owners reported total CVT failure before 80,000 miles, with no affordable repair option, only full replacements costing thousands. Inside, the Ion was equally frustrating. GM placed the instrument cluster in the center of the dashboard, a design that confused drivers and felt awkward compared to rivals. Cheap plastics and poor build quality reinforced the car's budget image. Fuel economy hovered around 23 to 32 miles per gallon, which was competitive, but constant mechanical breakdowns erased any savings. Resale values plummeted as reliability reports surfaced, and many ended up scrapped before hitting 150,000 miles. The Saturn Ion aimed to be a practical, affordable commuter, but with its fragile engines and catastrophic transmission, it became a textbook case of how poor engineering can ruin a brand's reputation. Number 4. 2001 to 2005 Chrysler PT Cruiser Automatic. The Chrysler PT Cruiser arrived with retro styling inspired by 1930s panel vans, instantly catching attention and winning Motor Trend's Car of the Year in 2001. Positioned as a small, versatile wagon, it competed with hatchbacks and small SUVs like the Ford Focus ZX5 and Toyota Matrix. On the outside, its high roof, rounded headlights, and flared fenders gave it a unique personality. But the drivetrain was a nightmare. The standard 2.4-liter 4-cylinder produced just 150 horsepower, which was underpowered for the PT Cruiser's weight. Worse, the 4-speed automatic transmission was sluggish, poorly matched, and prone to early failure. Even the turbocharged GT model with 215 to 230 horsepower couldn't mask the weak automatic shortcomings. Owners complained about overheating, head gasket leaks, and engine mounts failing prematurely. These chronic issues made the PT Cruiser costly to maintain, despite its economy car positioning. Inside, the PT Cruiser scored points for space. Its tall roof allowed 5 adults to sit comfortably, and the rear seats folded or removed for impressive cargo flexibility. Options like leather, moonroof, and premium sound gave it an upscale touch. Fuel economy was disappointing at just 19 to 26 miles per gallon. Resale values collapsed as reliability issues mounted, and today, the PT Cruiser sits near the bottom of used car rankings. It looked fun and retro, but with unreliable engines and transmissions, the PT Cruiser aged poorly, remembered more as a gimmick than a dependable daily driver. Number 3. 2012 to 2015. Ford Focus, dual-clutch transmission. The Ford Focus was supposed to be Ford's global compact car, competing with the Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, and Hyundai Elantra. Sleek styling, a sharp grille, and sporty lines gave it European flair. On paper, it was a winner, but its transmission fiasco turned it into one of Ford's most infamous failures. The main culprit was Ford's PowerShift dual-clutch automatic transmission, marketed as fuel-efficient and sporty. In reality, it was plagued by jerky shifting, hesitation, and outright failure. Many owners described the car as feeling unsafe in traffic, with Ford facing massive lawsuits and recalls over the issue. Engines included a 2.0-liter four-cylinder with 160 horsepower, which was fine on its own. But paired with the flawed PowerShift transmission, the driving experience was miserable. Some cars required multiple transmission replacements within their first 60,000 miles. Inside, the Focus felt modern, with available features like My Ford Touch infotainment, navigation, and premium sound. Rear seating was a bit tight, but the overall cabin quality was solid compared to rivals. Fuel economy was strong at 26 to 37 miles per gallon, but that couldn't offset reliability nightmares. Resale value plummeted as the transmission scandal spread, and many owners traded in their cars at a loss. The Focus had everything it needed to be a global success: style, efficiency, and tech. But its disastrous transmission left a permanent scar on Ford's reputation. Number 2. 2010 to 2014 Dodge Journey. The Dodge Journey positioned itself as a versatile midsize crossover for families, competing against the Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, and Ford Edge. With bold styling, Dodge's signature crosshair grille, and SUV-like proportions, it looked appealing, but its engines and transmissions turned it into one of the least reliable crossovers of its time. The base 2.4-liter four-cylinder produced just 173 horsepower, leaving the Journey underpowered. The optional 3.5-liter and 3.6-liter V6 engines offered more grunt, but reliability was dismal. The engines developed oil leaks, cooling issues, and frequent stalling. Paired with Dodge's outdated 4- and 6-speed automatics, the drivetrain was prone to slipping, hesitation, and failure. Inside, the Journey looked promising. Families appreciated available 3-row seating, roomy cargo space, and options like rear seat entertainment and leather upholstery. But quality control ruined the experience, with reports of electrical failures, failing air conditioning, and cheap plastics that wore out quickly. Fuel economy disappointed, with averages of 17 to 25 miles per gallon, making it inefficient for its size. Resale value sank rapidly, and Consumer Reports consistently rated the Journey among the worst SUVs of the decade. On paper, the Dodge Journey was the practical family hauler many wanted. In reality, it was an unreliable money pit plagued by failing engines and transmissions. Number 1. 2007 to 2009. Dodge Caliber CVT. The Dodge Caliber was Dodge's replacement for the Neon, marketed as a versatile hatchback competing with the Toyota Matrix and Mazda 3. With its muscular styling, crosshair grille, and high stance, it looked tougher than its rivals. But under the hood, it was one of Chrysler's worst engineering disasters. The Caliber's biggest flaw was its Jatco continuously variable transmission, CVT. Designed for efficiency, it instead became notorious for overheating, slipping, and catastrophic failure before 100,000 miles. Replacement costs often exceeded the value of the car. Engines ranged from a 1.8-liter four-cylinder at 148 horsepower to a 2.4-liter at 172 horsepower, but all were noisy, coarse, and prone to oil consumption. Even the sporty Caliber SRT4 with 285 horsepower couldn't escape poor reliability. Inside, the Caliber offered practical features like a chill zone glove box, fold-flat seating, and available navigation. But cheap plastics, uncomfortable seats, and constant rattles ruined the experience. Fuel economy figures of 21 to 30 miles per gallon looked average, but high repair costs destroyed any value. Resale values collapsed as the Caliber's reputation spread, and today, it's considered one of Dodge's worst models ever built. The Dodge Caliber was intended to modernize Dodge's compact lineup, but with one of the worst CVTs in history and fragile engines, it became a cautionary tale in poor automotive design. And there you have it, 10 cars that became infamous for their unreliable engines and fragile transmissions. They promised affordability, style, or innovation, but left owners stranded with sky-high repair bills. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with the cars you think deserved a spot on this list.